Hey, this is Derek with Vanguard Audio Labs at NAMM 2023. As you can tell, I barely have my voice, which means it's the last day of NAMM, and I'm very excited about it. So, wanted to tell you a little bit about a new product that we're launching here at NAMM. It's so new that I just finished the prototype Wednesday. This is the V24 by Vanguard Audio Labs. So, people think of the C24 as like the iconic and most revered stereo tube microphone out there. Because it's 60 years old, it had a number of issues. It had crosstalk at about minus 25 dB between the two capsules along the power path. They were noisy. They break all the time. The power supply would drift. There were a number of issues with them. They're the low end. They intentionally cut the low end. And we wanted to make an elevated version of that. Now, I've wanted to make a stereo tube mic for years. The problem has always been, I want to use my shock mount without retooling. I need 10 pins, and XLRs only came up to 7. And I didn't want to retool for the Tuchel connectors because one, they're like really expensive, and two, I would have to retool my shock mount, my microphone, and I didn't know how much demand there was going to be for a tube stereo mic. But it's something I've always wanted to do personally. I love the C24s, they're incredible microphones. Now, Neutrik a few months ago announced their 8+2 format, which is, I can show you on the cable here, if you let me duck down for a second. This is a 10-pin XLR format. This is sort of their replacement for an RJ45, Ethernet plus power, but I figured out I know exactly what I want to do with this as soon as they announced it, and I started working on the V24. So, we're using bee's knees, hey Ben, hey Veronica, we're using your capsules, made in Australia, handmade authentic CK12 replicas, the true brass C12 capsules, you know, the amazing chambering, the really complex backplates. That's what we're doing on these CK12s, and we're really, really excited about the way they sound. We're also using the V24S architecture, our stereo microphone architecture, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. I'll even mic it for you. That is detinted with ball bearings every 15 degrees, solid as a rock. One of these fell 10 feet in an Andy Grammer concert during a show and was working just fine, so it has been road tested. And then on top of that, we're going to be using NOS tubes, Cinemag transformers, PRP, ELNA, PRP resistors, ELNA capacitors. We're like going all out on this thing. This is my first foray into really high-end stuff, and I'm very excited about it as a designer and as the co-founder of Vanguard Audio Labs with my partner Ken. So, on this microphone, the other thing is most people think that a C24, 12 times 2, it's a C12. But really, it was more like two 251s with like an extended low end. So what we've done is we've made that high-end roll-off that's part of the 251 switchable. So here is your C12 voicing, and now we've gone to a 251 voicing, and that's per capsule. So if you're doing mid-side and you want a darker side like ribbons, you got it. We've also fixed the crosstalk issue by adding a couple components into the power path that roll off and reduce crosstalk to like minus 50, minus 60 decibels. And there's another thing, but my brain is just reset because it's the last day of NAMM. We have, like I said, we're using the Cinemag transformers. It's much, much lower noise. And because we can use that 10-pin, here's the reason I wanted the 10 pins, is because you can do 9 patterns independently variable per capsule. So each of these, let me see if I can switch it and talk, 9 patterns. You could do XY with hypercardioid. You could do mid-side with a wide cardioid center. These are infinite possibilities here with this microphone. We have a bottom, top, and top phase inverted for 3-cable mid-side, just like we do with our V24S, and there's your input. You know, I know it's a prototype because I picked up the metalwork on Friday, and I haven't been able to get the laser marking done yet. But we're really, really excited about this microphone. It's going to run $8,000 to $9,000, and we're hoping it'll be available in the next few months here. We're going to hand build all of these in Montclair. Every component's going to be soldered by hand on the first run. Almost lost my power supply there. And this is going to be a true, as the literal best we can do on this, and we want to do proud by the C24, and we want to not only do proud by it, but extend it and make it even better than they were. All right, so I did want to talk about our shock mounts a little bit because it's something that we have gotten endless compliments on. We've gotten endless compliments from other brands who have promptly copied it since we released it, so I know it's a good design. So first things first, you got the open face of the microphone, right? That means you can close mic an amp. That means a vocalist can work it up close without bumping the little legs that come off the top of the of the Spider shock mount. Spider shock mounts are like a 70-year-old design, and we feel like we could do a lot better. These fit a ton of other mics. These fit Lautens, Mojaves, Telefunkens, MXLs, Ovantones. This threading is pretty standard throughout the industry. So if you got a mic that threads onto your shock mount, chances are it'll fit this, which is $109 retail separately, and also comes standard with all our mics. Another thing we do is I think that the stuff that holds up your underwear elastic should not be holding up your microphone. That's like a $5,000 investment or something, because we know how long the stuff on your underwear lasts. So we actually use jet engine O-rings on this. So each of these, the guy that supplies these to me also supplies them to Boeing. And we have UV additives in there, UV resistant additives. So these will last for a very, very, very long time. And there's 6 of them. So if one of them breaks, unlike a Spider shock mount, your whole microphone doesn't come tumbling to the floor, which is why Sunset Sound's entire vintage microphone collection, which is lovely, kind of looks like this. Some of those might have been dropped by, a tech or whatever, but some of those are failed elastic bands on shock mounts. I think that Spider shock mounts are ridiculous and they need to be rethought, and that's why we came up with this. This is to make the engineer's job easier. Our job is to make tools to make your job easier, and that's what we try and do.